The five BRICS countries, China, Brazil, Russia, India, and South Africa, are emerging as a global economic powerhouse. The countries are injecting impetus into the world economy via their unique economic development models. Sun Xinbo has the details.
BRICS refers to the five emerging market economies of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They play an important role in the global economy and each has a unique economic growth model. China adopts an export-oriented economic model. It has become the world's largest exporter of goods and manufacturing production center. The reform and opening policy was implemented to attract foreign investment and technology to promote rapid economic growth. China especially focuses on its domestic market and is strengthening the driving force of domestic demand and consumption. Brazil's economic growth model is mainly driven by exports of agriculture, mineral resources, and energy. And the nation is one of the world's largest exporters of agricultural products. Dominated by energy exports, Russia is the world's largest exporter of natural gas and an important exporter of oil. The country is known for its heavy industry, including military, aerospace, and nuclear energy. Economic growth in India is mainly led by the services sector, especially information technology and business services. The sector makes up a major proportion of the country's economy. South Africa's economic growth engines are diversified, including mining, manufacturing, financial services, and tourism. South Africa is the largest economy in Africa and is rich in its mineral and agricultural resources. With a focus on promoting inclusive economic growth, reducing poverty and inequality, South Africa is strengthening investment in infrastructure and education. Sun Xinbo, CGTN, Beijing.
6 new member countries have been added to the BRICS bloc of developing economies. The decision to expand membership came at the BRICS meetings in Johannesburg. CGTN's Sun Yi has more.
South Africa's President Ramaphosa has announced that 6 new members are joining the BRICS mechanism. That's including Argentina, UAE, Iran, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Saudi Arabia. And the 6 new members will become full members of the BRICS mechanism starting next year, January the 1st. It's a cause for celebration for the 6 countries, and in the words of Chinese President Xi Jinping, the expansion is in the common interest of emerging economies and developing countries. He said it will give the BRICS even more vitality and contribute to world peace and development. South Africa, the host country for the Johannesburg summit, is elated.
We are very happy to see other African countries joining the BRICS forum. We've seen Ethiopia and Egypt. We want to thank those quite progressive countries that are growing and are working hard to grow their economies. And we believe that also will strengthen the implementation of the Africa Free Trade Agreement.
This BRICS summit has put synergy between BRICS countries and the African continent front and center. And many African countries have pointed to developing alongside China the ideal way forward.
E nesse quadro, julgamos que o modelo que a China representa é o modelo que interessa aos países africanos. É um modelo, digamos, em que o fator de dominação e exploração não está tão presente. E isso é muito importante para nós. De facto, nós queremos que o diálogo político se intensifique, que o ambiente de negócios seja cada vez melhor, que o investimento direto chinês em África traga benefícios mútuos, quer para a China, quer para a Guiné-Bissau e os países africanos, quer para os respectivos empresários. Portanto, gostaríamos que deste diálogo político nasça uma relação comercial e económica forte, ganha-ganha, em que todos ganham e efetivamente resolvemos os problemas dos nossos povos.
This, as Chinese President Xi Jinping also calls in his speech for developing countries to join hands to write a new chapter of unity, cooperation, and development together. Sun Ye, CGTN, Johannesburg.
Following the conclusion of the BRICS summit, several experts shared their perspectives on the significance of BRICS as a platform for multilateral cooperation and its increasing impact on the global economy. Let's hear what they have to say.
The fact that you have so many other countries who are eager to join the BRICS group of countries as well, it shows the influence that BRICS has developed over the past few years. There's a yearning by countries that they want to move away from being controlled by certain countries in the world, that we need to come together and provide solutions together. Otherwise, if we still have only certain countries that's dominant, it's not going to help with the development, and especially South-South cooperation.
So I think that the BRICS cooperation is very important for the global economy. If we look simply at numbers, which I'm sure you are aware of, but if we look at the GDP of these countries, the 5 nations of BRICS, which is about 26 trillion, and we look at the population that they comprise of globally, you start to understand that they must have a huge impact on the world economy. Now, it would be folly not to have any cooperation with a bloc that comprises almost 37% of the global population. And as I said, the GDP is sitting at about 26 trillion US dollars. That is huge by any, in any language. So they play a huge role. So I would say that given the numbers that we know, given the experience in terms of their development, that knowledge and that knowledge should be used to assist in the development trajectory of the rest of the developmental world. So it's important that the BRICS organization as it is able to have a positive impact on the rest of the world's development trajectory.
Brazil, China, and the other BRICS countries, they have signed an economic strategy and also a technology strategy in the past years. And actually in 2021, when China was hosting the BRICS summit, the BRICS established the BRICS Partnership, a new industrial revolution, and innovation and cooperation in the industrial field. And 2 years before, when Brazil, for its turn, was hosting the BRICS, there were initial discussions amongst the BRICS ministers of environment on 2 mechanisms to facilitate the transfer and the financing of green technologies in the bloc. So I believe there are many initiatives and ideas in their early stages that need to be further developed and implemented. And in doing so, there could be many opportunities to enhance partnerships and investments in Brazilian manufacturing and green and high technology sectors.